Hey everybody, I'm Joel Freeman. I grew up in Loveland, Colorado. My sponsors are Innova Champion Discs, Infinite Discs, and Black Ace Gear.
All right. When did you start playing disc golf, Joel?
Started playing disc golf summer of 2011.
And when did you start playing professionally?
So I tried. My start to disc golf was really cool. My first tournament was right around the time of my birthday in 2014, which is October. My birthday's in October. That first tournament, 2014 for me, first sanctioned round ever. I shot a 10-20 something. Got on lead card for the second round. After that, I played GBO 2015 was my second tournament ever.
Wow.
And then September of 2015 was when I really started consistently. So I would say my answer to that question is September 2015.
And how old were you then?
With a couple little. September 2015 would have made me 21. Well, I was going to turn. Anyway.
All right. Tell us about your life on tour.
That's a broad question. I drive on my own in my new Prius this year, upgraded to the Prius, so been loving that as a tour vehicle. My favorite part of the tour life is making new friends, making new connections, building relationships with people. So I like to try to connect with like host families and host friends and stuff like that. So that's usually what I'm doing. I'm driving from place to place and finding some local disc golfer who wants to meet a pro and host me. So people are really cool about it, and I make a lot of awesome relationships that way.
What do you feel the strongest part of your disc golf game is?
That's an awesome question. I've thought a ton about that recently. Definitely my driving. I know that's a broad answer, but I really believe I've come to notice that I'm one of the best throwers in the world. I can't throw 600 feet, so I'm not.
Can you throw?
I can probably push 550 here and there, definitely over 500, but so I'm not the farthest thrower. But I definitely think I have one of the most controlled kind of off the tee games, so to speak, in the world. But in a more specific sense, in a more specific answer, I guess, would be the forehand.
How far can you throw forehand?
Well, again, the distance isn't really elite level. I could probably push 400 feet with a flick, but my control is fantastic with a flick. Anywhere from, I'll sometimes throw forehands inside 50 feet, all the way to 350. I'm feeling real good about any kind of turnover, straight, hyzer, anything on a forehand line is comfortable for me. So.
What are some of your disc golf goals for 2019?
Some of my goals, one would be to finish the season rated higher than I started. I've definitely kept a smooth upward progression rating-wise since I started, which is awesome. I'd love to grab another 10 points throughout the next year. I think I grabbed about 10 over the course of last season, so I'm trying to push from 1020 to 1030 this season. That'd be an awesome goal to be able to achieve. A goal that I've had since the beginning is to win worlds. Obviously, like a lot of people, I'd love to win a world title. But yeah, other than that, one of my biggest goals is to become the most approachable player on tour. So I really want to be a good role model to people. One of my biggest goals for this season is to just treat my card mates, all my competitors, all my fans, everybody with a lot of love and respect. That's one of the goals that I hold higher than anything else, is to really work on having a positive attitude and a positive influence everywhere I go. That's one of the biggest goals for me always. So.
Fantastic. Last year in Las Vegas, you had a pretty good finish. How did that, or did that really change anything for you after your strong finish last year here?
Well, it definitely, yeah. Last year was a special weekend for me. It definitely increased my presence, my influence in the disc golf scene. Kind of put my name on the map, so to speak. It put my name in contention, I guess, in people's minds. Those other pros, those under 10, 20, 10, 30 rated players are now having to keep me on their radar and think, oh boy, this guy's here, you know what I mean? So yeah, just gave me a little bit more of a platform than I had before.
Awesome. And after you win it this year, that'll be big.
That'll be a big deal, yeah.
How often do you do field work and practice putting?
It's actually ironic given the question you asked about my strengths. I practice putting. I probably spend a couple hours a day putting, 2 to 3 hours a day probably practicing putting. I probably do field work once a month, not often at all.
Do you go out though and play like a course and throw multiple shots
here and there? Yeah, it depends on something about disc golf is it's enough in its infancy, so to speak, as a game as a whole, that there's no right or wrong way to do a lot of things. And so I'm always working on different goals to come up with, different kind of training routines. I'm always kind of coming up with something different to do. So for an example, this past off season, I took a pretty easy course that was 10 minutes away from my house, and I just said I'm going to shoot 18 under on this course by the end of the off season, and it's not the most impressive course ever, you know what I mean? Like it's most of the holes probably average 300, 280 or something, but it's a different kind of pressure to get hot and stay hot and to feel that. And so I was practicing kind of something that's a different variety from power or forehand or backhand, you know what I mean? I was practicing pressure or, stacking up birdies, those types of things. So it's always something different.
Do you have a favorite disc?
Oh gosh, I throw a lot of awesome discs. I think the obvious answer would have to be the Destroyer, just Old Faithful, Definitely one of my other favorites is the Gator. Gotta give the Gator some love. My putter, the VAVR. It's hard to narrow it down to just one answer because there's so many different slots to fill and so many different purposes for each one. So.
All right. Last question. What is a tip that you would give a disc golfer who's looking to be more competitive or try to step it up?
Well, I think any professional player's biggest weapon against an am is probably their mind. I know that's my biggest weapon against anybody in the world, is that I have a sound mind in just how I think about my shots and how I approach a competition. And it's impossible to teach. So I wish I could give you something concrete, but a cliche way of saying it would just be believe in yourself, be confident, commit fully to your decisions you make during a competition. Those are the types of things that really separate the cream from the crop. So
good.
Yeah.
Any last things you might want to say to somebody who wants to know more about the up and coming star Joel Freeman?
Yeah, I would say if you encounter me out on the road, if I come to your hometown, if I play an event or whatever, by all means, interrupt me in the middle of a practice round. walk up to me in between a couple of my shots, say hi. I definitely love meeting new people. I love talking with anybody. I love playing with anybody. And I really, really deeply appreciate all the support, all the love that I get from anybody out there, from any fans or friends. You guys all mean a ton to me, so that would be it.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody.